Imagine a world where power is seized not with diplomacy, but with bloodshed. Where thrones are won through treachery, and queens rule with an iron fist. Welcome to the dark, twisted tales of history's most infamous queens. These are women who defied the norms of their times, carving their names into history through sheer force of will and often sheer brutality. Their stories are not just about cruelty, but about the human drive for power, and the lengths to which people will go to keep it. From their early days, these queens faced incredible challenges. Mary Tudor, the neglected daughter of King Henry VIII, grew up in the shadow of a volatile father. Wu Zetian, a concubine who would not accept her fate, schemed her way to the highest seat of power. Ranavalona I, a peasant girl who rose to become a feared monarch, fiercely protected her kingdom from foreign influence. And Elizabeth Bathory, born into nobility, whose legend as the Blood Countess still chills us to this day. Their reigns were marked by violence, paranoia, and an unyielding quest for control. But beneath the surface, their stories are also about resilience, intelligence, and the harsh realities of their times. Join us as we delve into the lives of these powerful women, exploring the true stories behind their infamous reputations. This is a journey into the darker side of history, where queens ruled with fear and fire. You haven't still subscribed to this channel? Click the subscribe button and give us a follow. Empress Wu Zetian's rise to power was a tale of ambition and cunning. Born into a wealthy family, she received an education uncommon for women of her time. Picture a young girl, determined to rise above the limitations imposed by society. At just 14, Wu entered the imperial palace as a concubine. Rather than accepting her fate, she saw an opportunity. She was no ordinary concubine. She engaged in political discussions with the emperor, defying societal norms. When the emperor died, Wu's intelligence and ambition helped her climb the ranks, eventually becoming empress. Imagine the resentment and fear she faced from those who couldn't accept a woman in power. Wu's rise to power was ruthless. She executed rivals and even banished her own sons. Her methods were brutal, but her reign saw significant progress in gender equality and governmental reforms. Despite her ruthless ascent, Wu Zetian's rule was marked by peace and prosperity. It's a complex legacy, one of both progress and bloodshed. Wu Zetian's reign was a testament to her intelligence and ambition. Yet, the legends of her cruelty overshadow her achievements, leaving a mixed legacy. Mary Tudor, daughter of King Henry VIII, was born into a tumultuous time. Imagine growing up loved by your father, only to be cast aside because you weren't the son he desperately wanted. Mary's life was marked by rejection and resentment. Henry's defiance against the Pope not only changed England's religious landscape, but also turned Mary's world upside down. Can you imagine the betrayal she felt when her father annulled his marriage to her mother, Catherine of Aragon? Her marriage to Philip II of Spain and her brutal purge of Protestants earned her the moniker Bloody Mary. Her reign was a desperate attempt to save souls, but the price was steep. Nearly 300 people burned at the stake. Mary's actions were driven by a deep-seated belief in the righteousness of her cause. Imagine the inner conflict and turmoil she must have felt, believing that these horrific acts were necessary for the greater good. Mary's scorched earth policy and her brutal purge of Protestants left a legacy of fear and bloodshed, making her one of history's most infamous queens. Queen Ranavalona of Madagascar, often called Ranavalona the Cruel, took the throne through sheer determination and a series of brutal moves. Imagine a peasant girl who rises to power, only to become one of history's most feared rulers. Adopted by the royal family after her father saved the king's life, Ranavalona seized power after her husband's death. Her first act as queen was to eliminate any potential rivals, securing her throne through bloodshed. Ranavalona's reign was marked by extreme isolationism. She expelled all foreigners and banned Christianity, determined to make Madagascar self-sufficient. Imagine the fear and confusion of her subjects, forced to abandon their beliefs and connections to the outside world. Her methods were brutal. Christians faced execution, and justice was served through the ordeal of poison, a terrifying test of innocence. Ranavalona's reign decimated the population, but her fierce independence kept colonial powers at bay. It's a tragic legacy of pride and isolation. Ranavalona's attempts to preserve Madagascar's independence came at a high cost. Her oppressive rule left a legacy of fear and bloodshed. Elizabeth Bathory, the Blood Countess of Hungary, is infamous for her gruesome acts. Imagine the horror of the villagers as rumors spread about the Countess's dark hobbies. Born into a powerful family, Elizabeth was engaged at 11 and married at 15. Her life of luxury masked a dark side that would soon emerge. Rumors of her torturing and killing young girls spread quickly. The tales of her bathing in their blood for eternal youth were horrifying, even if not entirely true. The Hungarian king ordered an investigation. Witnesses came forward, and Elizabeth was arrested. Imagine the fear and shock of her accomplices as they faced trial and execution. Elizabeth Bathory's story is a blend of fact and legend. Whether driven by madness or sheer cruelty, her actions have cemented her as one of history's most notorious figures. While some historians argue that Elizabeth's crimes were exaggerated, the tales of her cruelty endure. Her story serves as a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk behind power. The stories of these queens remind us of the complex and often dark nature of power. Each of them faced immense challenges, driven by ambition, fear, and a desire to control their destinies. Though their methods were brutal, their tales continue to fascinate and terrify us. History is filled with lessons, some learned through blood and fire. Stay curious, stay informed, and join us again as we uncover more forgotten tales of the past.